Okay, I was working on that second diamond and it didn't quite come out the way I expected. It had a little vibration because I was using that 1.5-inch cutter, and this is the diamond here, and it's got some vibration marks on it, and I want to finish it up later, but I got it behind this plastic because I'm like not happy with it and I really don't want to look at it. So I'm making some improvements to the machine. This is the unit apart again, believe it or not. I think I spend more time working on this thing than I do actually using it. But anyway, this is the thrust bearing that I had put in here before. And what that is I put a groove inside that piece of aluminum, put those balls in so they could ride around on that piece. And I know that the top of this is, well, you're looking at it inverted, but this is plastic and this is aluminum. But the piece on the end is aluminum, so where the balls actually ride is on the piece on the end, which is aluminum. So let me put you up here and show you what I'm working on. Actually, I'm working on two things simultaneously. One of them is this lower brake, and the second one is the brake for the top. Now we'll get into this later. We don't want to do that now because we'll consume a lot of time. So we'll just kind of go over this one. I'll put you up here. So what this is remember before the other one was made out of Delrin plastic, and this one's out of aluminum. And I made a little diagram on kind of what it is I'm working on. So this is the aluminum housing. This is the piston assembly. It's got a hole coming through the back. And then over here, this is the inlet. It's got an O-ring there. And instead of I put a thread in the center instead of on the side. And it's got a thread in the back for this piece. And then on the front is this piece. On the original one I had the pusher part and the piston and the groove all in one unit. I separated them, so now I have the shaft, and I have the pusher unit that goes in the piston as a separate item. That would be this here. Before this was one piece, now I'm making it two pieces. And then we have the housing. Then I have this shaft isn't finished, but this is the shaft with the two O-rings, and it fits inside of here. Oh, that's a nice fit. That's without the O-rings. And then there's this piece that goes on the back. It's threaded. There's a hole in the back here. So this is going to house the springs. So this is essentially what it looks like. I got the piece here that captures the disc, which is this part. The air goes in the back. Well, it's not going to be air, it's going to be hydraulic. See, I'm doing this because I'm making this hydraulic. That's why I'm making it out of aluminum. And then the springs, before I had the spring on the top, but I think it was causing a little binding on it. So I got the springs on the center line of the piston so it doesn't bind. And I'm going to feed hydraulic fluid, well, brake fluid, into this unit. This is one of 4. There's still going to be 4 of these. This is the original piece here, and everything else is made different. So this is the brake components. I got this off eBay. It looks just like this. There's a number. I don't know if it means anything, but there's a lot of these on there, and they have you get the hose and the ends of it. You get one end with a banjo on it. You get the other end that's straight. And you get the little piece that goes in the middle that fits in this hose. It's really small diameter hose. I mean, it's got to be about a 1/16 ID, if that. But it's gonna using brake fluid, and you're not using volume, you're using pressure. So what's going to happen is this banjo fitting is going to fit onto here. Of course, there's 2 little washers that go on there. Actually, it's going to go on this side. No, it goes on this side. It's going to look something like that with this hose. So we're going to use hydraulic fluid to push this, and the reason we're doing that is because when you're using air, the air will well, you might say it might collapse, or there's no hard pressure with air. As to with hydraulic fluid, you get basically hydraulic lock, which is the fluid that builds up, and it can't compress like air. Air can compress and it can release the piston, as to where if you're using hydraulic, I shouldn't say hydraulic lock, because that's when the cylinder is filled up with hydraulic fluid and they can't go anywhere. But yeah, we're going to use hydraulic fluid, just like any typical disc brake system on most of your cars nowadays. They're all this kind of setup. They've used hydraulic fluid for many years, and it's a solid way of locking up the disc. Now, there's one thing I didn't realize it at first, but when I got this disc, and it's fiberglass, and it's got like a coating on it, a fiberglass, a resin coating, which is actually it doesn't actually lend itself to friction very well. It tends to slide because of that coating on there. So what having done is I'm having this laser cut out of a piece of steel, 1/16 thick, having two of these cut, because there's two of these, one on each side, because I don't think the resin coating is going to allow that not to lock up tight. So by going with a piece of steel, I think it'll lock up a lot tighter. You know, I didn't realize it at first, and then after I got some vibration, I started looking into it, and you know, I think this is actually, you know, letting it slip a little bit, because it's, like I said, it's got a resin on there which is like slippery, and I don't want, that's not desirable. So anyway, I'm having these laser cut out of steel. So we're going to go with this hydraulic line in these new units. And we'll see how that works out. I think it'll work out, well, it's got to work out a lot better, because then it won't slip. There will be no compression of the air. It'll be solid. So like I said, we'll have to talk about this some other time. Maybe on the next video. Yeah, this is the I got this off eBay too. This is the cylinder I'm going to use, the master cylinder. I'm going to have some kind of little cam thing going on here, pushing the rod in there. Now these wing nuts I got on here, they're just temporary, but that's what I'm thinking about doing. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. All right, talk to you later.